This is Carlos Prates, a Muay Thai athlete from Brazil, best known for having some of the craziest knockouts, but also some of the worst health habits. Even with this borderline substance abuse, Carlos has managed to knock out the 3 skilled fighters you saw in the intro of this video, even including the former champion, Jack Della Maddalena, who's no slouch in their own right.
I got this!
Jack was the welterweight champion, never losing in the UFC except for his last fight, the current welterweight champion and pound for pound best fighter in the UFC, Islam Makhachev, who moved up after vacating the lightweight title. So how has Carlos Prates managed to knock out so many crazy guys despite all of these bad health habits? I mean, athletes are supposed to be freak athletes that rarely cheat on their meals, right? Now, first things first, we have to address the cigarettes, the alcohol, and the sweet food. Now, yes, athletes are in peak condition. However, they only tend to stay at that peak around the time they compete, as it's very hard on the body and the mind to maintain peak physical fitness for long periods of time without drugs, PEDs, or at least the bare minimum, the proper knowledge and recovery and the consistency. The harder the load on the body, the more benefit you receive, but at the same time, the more wear and tear the athlete feels. Massive binges and bad habits in athletes are actually very common, especially in the top of the top and the people that you see most often in the media. If you search it out, you can find these athletes doing crazy food binges and challenges just like mukbangers at times. Now, the difference between these athletes and regular people that go on these binges is that although they'll have all of these sugary, toxic things in their body, they also balance it out with extreme physical fitness and consistency. Massive binges and bad habits are actually very common in athletes, and you can still enjoy all of the sugary, toxic things you want within reason, but a body that is more balanced with better habits will be able to handle those short-term substances better than a body that has never stopped taking them. By no means is cigarettes and alcohol making Carlos Prates a better fighter. Yes, if he stopped these habits, he probably would be slightly better at what he does. But when you already have an above average metabolism, strong lungs, a very active body, and have been fighting for years, and you're still actively treating your body in a positive way, you can withstand more of that short-term baggage than someone in their late 40s who's been doing construction all their life, doesn't lift, doesn't stretch, and drinks a beer after every shift. Now we need to address the skill.
Today I saw the guy Carlos Prates. He eat Nutella cake in the lunchtime, in the fight week. It's something I never do,
And I surprised how these guys who smoke all day beat the former champion,
He said, Carlos Prates said that's what Nutella will do for you, the power.
Let's go! Nutella cake, bro! Nutella cake! Thank you, buddy. Thank you.
Carlos is 6'1" with a 78-inch reach with a slightly muscular athletic build. Now, if you're saying that doesn't sound very big, especially in comparison to other athletes you might have seen, you also have to remember that that's what they cut to. Fighters tend to weigh up to 10 to 15, even 20 pounds heavier than what they actually fight at. At times, even in the cage, they can be up to 200 pounds for the welterweight division. Knockout artists tend to have an obsession with their power and will even favor it over other methods of victory. Some fighters even sell the whole fight believing at some point they will eventually land this power. That's because confidence and awareness is a very underlooked and important aspect of what scores a KO shot. Confidence allows you to throw harder with less fear. Power punchers throw more consistency with power. They might throw it more often. When you watch these knockout artists, They tend to use a lot of leverage, taking deep forward steps, using a lot of forward momentum to time massive shots. They also cause doubt and fear in the opponent, which can show on them physically, and that gives another signal to the power puncher when to apply that power. If you're on the street, you want to go ahead, handle that, and run about your business. What he's doing is he's keeping his hands and his body just over that line to where he could either counter or he can pull back and wait. Especially if you notice, he wasn't necessarily reaching when he was throwing like that, but he was using that forward momentum. So if Jack ended up stopping, he had it. If Jack didn't stop, he would just keep pushing him back towards the cage. That is when you get those moments of when Jack was against and you start seeing him do this. The covering up, even if it didn't land clean, the whole time he's moving, he's looking for something. He doesn't know where to go. So even if you as the attacker on the pursuit is just doing this, just walking towards them, where is that gonna be at? They don't know. They just got punched in the face. And then when they go do that, open up, they go to look, that is when you come back, and that's where you as the attacker create that doubt by putting something there. You're creating doubt to the body, you move, maybe they miss, maybe they get one. But it's when the second they feel confident or you give them a reason to throw, that's when they go. And it's in those moments, this split second, right here, where I develop all my leverage. Just stepping out and whipping in as much as you want. You want to think of your hand like a hook or a shovel that's going to dig into the dirt. When you go to shovel something, you don't just like a rake and it goes all the way up. You're not just swinging your arms. You plant, you dig, and then you toss. It's going to be the same thing with this hook. When we, whether it's a counter, whatever we're going to do, start with the jab, foot, plant. If you have some more momentum, you can also kind of use that step to get you into position. Now, you always want a yin and yang. If I'm attacking this side, I'm going to want this guard up here. Because what if I go, slip the jab, I'm ready for the body shot, but they're fast. I'm gonna get knocked out here, I can't have that. So even if I don't land this, let's say, slip the jab, they come with the hook, I go with the body shot, even if they don't get it, I'm now in a position where I can pull myself back and either continue to move around and be neutral, or I can follow back up with whatever combo that I need.